Hi, it's time once again to take a look at what I colored for the month of May in 2019, and I'll start with some new purchases. I found this book, Magnificent Mermaids, at Walmart. It's by Marjorie Sarnett and had a very nice sale price on it. And I was thrilled to find this because our local Walmart hardly ever has anything by Creative Haven, or mostly what they carry are Crayola and Crazy Art coloring books, pattern books, that kind of thing. And once in a while I find a good one by Creole Art with Edge. But in the adult book section, very seldom do you find anything like this, so this was a lucky find. And I did the first picture. There we go. This was done with Sharpies along the outer edges, and I also used Cezanne pencils for the background water and her skin. And her hair was done with Sharpie Ultra Fine Point. And her tail fins were done with glitter gel pens. And that also includes the bubbles in the water. So see if you can see that shine. There we go. And the coral, I borrowed that coloring idea from Color with Claire. She has a tutorial on her channel. It's called Hologram, how to color a hologram image. And I used the Prismacolor pencils that she used on her demo. Next, I found Rainforest Escape by J. Gideon, and this was in the bargain book section of Barnes & Noble. When I was looking through the bargain book section, I was thrilled to find this one because it's a nice, thick watercolor paper, and I have a whip going on in here. There we go. I'm using watercolor pencils and they work great on this paper. It's kind of smooth, but it has a slight texture. I haven't tried regular pencils on it yet, but I got this book for the purposes of using watercolors, and that's what I'm going to use it for. And I think the reason it was in the bargain book section, the pages, some of the pages are kind of long, and they fold on the sides. But that's all right. That's not a deal breaker for me. I also got these pastels, Royal Langnickel from Five Below. I haven't tried them yet, but they can't be any worse than the Dollar Rowney pastels I currently have, and that's only a 12 set. So I'm going to give these a try on that page from the Rainforest Escapes book. And I went to Michael's and also picked up a couple of more Goldfaber pencils. I like this color. It reminds me of burgundy. According to FaberCastell's website, this particular pencil number is 133, which matches up to magenta. And this is gold. I like working with metallic pencils once in a while. This one has a yellow undertone to it, which I like. The Premier's gold is more of a beige undertone. It's very dark. I don't like it. This one I do like. So, on with the colorings. Did one in World of Flowers by Johanna Basford. Alright. This one I did with Cezanne pencils and a few of the gold Faber pencils, and around the bug, I used eyeshadow as a background, and I had a lot of fun with this. It was challenging, trying to figure out where, what everything was, and I wasn't really sure how to do him, but I just decided to go in heavy around the outer edges and give him a little bit of variety of color that matched the outside, which is a variety of pinks and purples and oranges and reds. I also decided to focus on coloring in books I haven't colored in for several months or even years. Starting with this one, Art Nouveau Animal Designs by Marty Noble. There we go. Now, I did him using a base color of pink neon, jumbo juicy markers. In fact, I'll show them to you in just a second. Because I did another page using these as well. I got these at Barnes & Noble a couple of years ago, and I really like them. And this was the color I used for the horse, strawberry. They look like this. Very small chisel tip. And for the rest of the picture, on his design, I used a gold marker, and I also used Prismacolor Scholars on the leaves, and on the bushes in the background I used the both the banana and melon markers, and then accented them with Crayola Super Tips. And the background sky and the horse's mane and tail were also Scholars. And this was also for a color along on Instagram hosted by Colors of Pure Joy. It was Color Along Creative Haven 2019. And this was the first picture I colored in this in 2 years. Next is Creole Art with Edge Sugar Skulls, Heads Up. And the last time I'd colored a page was last October. And John at the Bibliophile Colorist was having a color along, hashtag Biblio Halloween in May. That was from last year. There we go. For the background, I also used the Jumbo Juicy markers and Art and Fly marker on the skull, accented with Sharpies, and the rose was also Sharpie, and the feathers I used Pen Gear gel pens, And all I did was just make the lines for each individual strand of the feather. Next, I have one in Fabulous Fashions of the 1950s by Mingju Sun, and it had been a year since I'd colored in this one. And on this page, for the background, I used Civo Vivid, and for the rest was Cezanne pencils and a little bit of gel pen. And this also was for the Creative Haven Color Along. Next, I did one in The Time Garden by Daria Song. And was this page. This is a very weird coloring book. I'll probably color in it again, but it'll be a page similar to this one, like this one. Something I can really see and tell what's going on. But I use the scholars on this page mostly for the brickwork. And the reason I chose two colors is because I didn't want to wear down my reds and yellows that I had started with in this corner. I said, well, I'll make it two colors and make it more interesting. Now the door was done with Sharpies, and the inside, the gears were done with gel pen. And she was done with art fly markers, Sharpies, and shaded with pencil. This took a while. But I like the way it came out. Now, the last time I'd colored in this was over a year ago. I did 3 in Color Your Own Modern Art, and this was rendered by Muncie Hendler, I believe. Yep. This is the first one I did. This was done with, well, all 3 pictures I did in this book were done with Sharpies and Bic markers. And I used the original painting as a reference so I could tell what was going on. Because for me, when it's in line art, I really have to focus on what I'm looking at. But seeing the original artwork kind of put it into focus, if that makes any sense. This was the next one. I think it goes this way, according to the reference I found both in the book and online. And there's that's the original right there. And then there's one more. There we go. Yeah. For this one, there was a lot of, open space. So I made a frame for it and went kind of, abstract, if you will, pattern-wise. I made a straight bar here and a thinner one here, and then colored this corner in. And finally, I did one in Goddess by Selena Fenech. And it had been a couple of years since I did anything in this one too. And what's great about her books, you get double images, which is great because I had already colored this one in the book already. And this is, I redid it again. And for this one I used Arteza pencils, and for her dress I used the Crayola Signature brush pens, and for her little glow around inside the wreath I used a cheap metallic marker I got from the Dollar Tree. And this one was for a color along hosted by Victoria Colors, hashtag Victoria's Mayflowers. Just for a comparison, I'll show you the original too. Because I redid it on cardstock, printed it off on cardstock, because the paper quality in Finex books, if you get them on Amazon, is very hard to work on. I don't like it. So as you can see, I've done quite a lot in this book already. There's the first one I did. So I decided to do a little different color scheme this time. And this was, of course, done on the crappy Create Space paper. I think they're the, from what I can tell, of course I got this back in, what was it, 2016. The paper quality has improved, you know, through Amazon. And that's it. That is what I colored for the month of May 2019. Thanks for watching.